Commercial real estate. What are we looking at?
Oh, golly. 2,988 banks that, by the terms of their own regulators, are too concentrated in commercial real estate. These are the medium-sized banks. By the end of this year, half of all commercial real estate loans will be underwater, and they are coming up for reset in 11, 12, and 13. The reason this is a bad problem anyway. Think about that. Nearly 3,000 banks out of a total of 8,000. It's the very banks that do small business lending who are about to get socked in the nose on real estate, commercial real estate losses.
So we'll see banks going under because they've got
We're already seeing
too many loans out that will not be repaid.
We're seeing banks that don't want to lend.
Right.
Because they see every dollar that comes in the door and say, I got to hold on to it to try to fill my commercial real estate hole, or else I will be going
Okay,
under.
I know you do have to go. So let me make this one. Joe Stiglitz, who you know, was here last night.
Yes.
Basically says he fears that we'll see a double-dip recession. So the economy has to do with inventory, has to do with the end of the stimulus, has to do with a whole range of issues. Unemployment staying at where it is. Do you have that kind of, even though you're a lawyer and not an economist,
Right.
fear about this economy?
I am afraid. I'm afraid because of what I see in the real economy. I'm afraid because I don't see books that are clean, balance sheets that have been cleaned up. I'm afraid because in October of 2008, Secretary Paulson came to the American people and he said the problem is toxic assets on the books of the banks.
And
they're still there.
Right.
I'm afraid...
Although they're worth more than they were.
Lucky us.
Yeah.
I'm afraid because Secretary Paulson said there's too much concentration in the banking industry, and there's even more concentration today than there was
so bigness
15
is
months
bad?
ago. It's not that bigness is bad, it's that we've got concentrated risk, and that's what creates too big to fail, and that's creating distortions throughout our economy. We haven't yet put our feet on solid ground and begun to rebuild an economy we can believe in.
I hear you as saying that the mindset of the people making the economic decisions in Washington, Larry Summers, Tim Geithner, Christine Roma, and others, they look at the world through the wrong experience. Now, maybe you want to include Christine not in that, but certainly Summers and Geithner. You think their experience has been too connected to a point of view that does not allow them to make the optimal decision?
I
tried to make that as easy as I could.
I think we have different worldviews.
You and them.
Yes. I just don't think we see the world the same way.
And so, therefore, they shouldn't be in place.
Well, I'm going to say it differently. I think that Summers and Geithner are smart. I think they're honorable. I think they approach the economy and the world through the largest institutions, and they see the world from a top-down perspective. I've spent 25 years somewhere else.
Academia.
No, come on. Summers and I started in the same places.
No. Yes.
I spent my time and my research on economic death and rebirth. And much of that was about what happened to America's middle class, how we have hollowed out America's middle class. It will not save us if a handful of Wall Street banks prosper and the rest of America fails. Our focus, our energy, our heart has to be on the rest of America.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Now, you have promised me an hour at some point, so at some point in this busy schedule you have.
I want to.
Elizabeth Warren, back in a moment. Stay with us. Over the past year, the Tea Party movement has grown.